All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Unprepared. Today, I welcome to the show another Columbus, Ohioan, I guess is how we would say that, from our rainy city for the last couple of days. Kyle Asperger is joining me from Studio 301. How are you doing today?
Good, man. Thanks for having me, Chase.
Oh yeah, no problem. So this is gonna be a fun one. So Kyle actually isn't much in the e-commerce space as most of my guests and audience are, which is awesome. I want to branch out a bit more because I feel like people of different specialties have a lot to bring to the table and offer to people in the e-commerce space. A lot of the tactics and stuff that you're going to do translate all over the place. It doesn't have to really be your specialty or niche. So that's why I'm excited to talk to Kyle today. So Kyle, for people that are unfamiliar with Studio 301, kind of explain what you guys do over there and how you help people.
Sure. Studio 301, it's a creative house. And we like to kind of really integrate with companies as like their marketing and like brand strategy arm, so to speak. So we, oftentimes help out companies that have been around for a bit, but they don't have, the internal team or resources available to create whatever it is that they need to really get their message out there. And especially times like this where, people have already reached out saying, through COVID, I know we're not really supposed to focus on this, but for companies alike, it's a driving force of change, mostly because, they had a very like in-person setup previously. And now they're saying like, well, since we can't really, cater to people here in person, then we have to completely switch to, digital scheduling or, reach out and connect with people on, a more regular basis through email, Instagram, all these different platforms, just ways to connect with people. These aren't typically, this is like in like automotive, car shops and, stuff like that, like things that won't typically reach out to people in such a digital manner. It's because of COVID that, all right, now's the time to make that change.
Yeah. So I know one of the things that you help a lot of businesses with is content creation. And I know on our side of things, we can see literally a line drawn in the sand between businesses that focus on content creation and kind of the trajectory of what that's going to do for them to businesses that kind of skirt content creation and focus on other avenues, especially with paid media and paid social. Like there's a world of difference between brands that are producing a lot more content and brands that aren't. How does that kind of translate over into like other markets?
There's a way that it can translate for everybody. The translation may be different. There's no like, at least in my mind, there's no kind of cut and dry solution. I'm a very kind of custom solution oriented individual. There are a lot of shops that can say like, all right, well, there's a general formula, and yes, that is true. But it's the different pieces that are kind of tacked onto that formula that really can define, the way that a brand or an individual is really speaking to whoever their like end user base actually is. And content creation, it's just like, quality is kind of king. That, you see like, especially like you were talking about like LinkedIn earlier, this is like one of those places that you see so much stuff out there on a regular basis, and nothing stands out as being extraordinary or like even remotely interesting as far as I'm concerned. So, it's a matter of, all right, how do we sort of step outside that box, but, draw people in that way
I'm a big fan of authenticity. And you know what? I actually will probably take a opposite approach from you, which is fine. These are just, our opinions, but I believe quality is important, but at the same time, it's like, the first blog post you write isn't going to get you 1 million visitors. It's, it's getting that system built and getting in the rhythm of producing content. I believe content of any sort, I believe is probably the more important fundamental system in your business than, waiting for the most perfect piece of content before you release it. So I don't know. That's just my opinion. And
along with the quality, consistency is the critical thing that, if you don't keep up with your, engaging with your audience on whatever the platform is, then, you're not going to be top of mind. It's kind of as simple as that. So yes, I do entirely agree with that.
Going back to the quality piece, though, especially for people now, I guess a lot of people are now working remote. They may not have access to a studio. What are some ways that DIYers or younger brands that can't afford to work with partners like us, like what are some ways that they can up the quality of their content?
Give me an example of a potential client, so to speak.
Sure. Let's talk about just like a local, not local per se, but an up and coming apparel brand. There's a lot of those out there in the space, producing custom T-shirts and pantaloons per se. Just clothing brand.
Yeah. Try out my pantaloons. Yeah. I mean, again, like the quality and consistency, like that is they're two hard things to consistently maintain, especially without the resources of other teams and creative geeks to really sort of like drive that train. A lot of it really just comes down to like if you're just trying to get the like apparel out there, in a way that makes sense, like be your own model, snap a few selfies on your phone, like don't take it in your like busy kitchen or something like that, like where there's distracting elements around there. Like me, I have like a big backdrop that I'm sitting in front of for this, but like not everybody's going to be able to squeeze this into their living room or basement or something like that. But it's as simple as just find a naked wall and keep it clean, keep it simple, make the product kind of up close and personal, and then just add whatever it is that your flavor is, and that's how people that will kind of really tack onto the brand.
You don't know that's like what you just said was a very, very delicious piece of content. That's like the golden nugget of like how to just get started with producing good photos of your product is keep it simple, keep the product front and center, and then add your flavor. I see like a lot of brands, that flavor comes in the form of kind of whatever market your product exists in. It's like other ancillary products that might kind of be in that world. For example, like with like weightlifting, apparel for like weightlifting or working out, like you'll often see sometimes splashed in the corner of a photo or something would be maybe like a weight or like a water bottle. Like these are accessories that exist in that world and in that space to help make a connection. Exactly. Yeah. I think that's a great piece of advice. Is there anything that I forgot to ask you about today that you think would be useful for the people listening or watching?
I mean, I'll speak from my own experience in that, like, during COVID, especially, the client work sort of like, naturally just kind of dipped down a bit. And so not only has that one sort of ushered in a little bit more free time, which has been nice to just enjoy, quite honestly, for people like us that are inherently workaholics, but also utilizing that time to look inward, and whether that's quite simply just reflecting by yourself with yourself, or finding the friends, finding the mentors to keep you accountable. I took 10 weeks, 10 different sessions, going back and forth with a business coach to, work through the mission, core values, vision statement for Studio 301. And that's all stuff that, I would not have otherwise been able to do it by myself. So that's where, really enlisting that individual helped enormously. And, now's the time, hopefully you're healthy, but if you look inward, you do the work, then, that's the way to bring the business to a healthier level by the time that everybody gets out of this.
Yeah, that's a great thing. Like if you can't do certain things within your business, use the time wisely now. Effort in is going to be exponential on the other side of it. If people are in the future looking to kind of up that quality with their content, how do they get a hold of you?
We are studio301.org. And there we have updated projects, case studies, and then there's a contact us. It's as easy as just shoot me an email, and then we'll hop on a no strings discovery call, and if we can help, great. If not, then hopefully I can connect you with somebody that can better suit your needs.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Chase.